Does size matter?
Ha
No, seriously, folks. Are some tartans better suited for particular height or width of the wearer? Will the same set size look better on different wearers? Yeah.
Sure.
The question is, how much should you worry about?
That's the subtext. Yes, 100%.
That was what Peter McDonald said. His answer to Will on the group was, "You're overthinking this," and Will was like, "Yeah, but it's fine." So
that's the point, is to overthink this. We would never show.
We would never show if we didn't overthink this stuff.
The set size, the size of the tartan. So from where one stripe occurs in the tartan to where it occurs again is the set size. The question is, how big is too big? How little is too little? There's let's say too big, 25 inches, or 4 feet, whatever, 48 inches. Yet you would not be able to have a complete set on the front apron. On the other end of it, let's say, an inch and a half, 2 inches, or, half an inch, whatever. That's too small. You end up looking like you're wearing a tablecloth.
Yeah.
So taking the extreme ends out of it, because neither are going to look good. Generally, I would say bigger set sizes look good on bigger guys. Smaller set sizes look good on smaller guys.
Right.
Now, again, we're taking this scale and we're shrinking it in a little bit. We're only focusing on the center. So if you have a real big dude, he's got a 55, 60 inch waist. Then if he wore all things being equal, same weight of cloth, same mill, same price, everything like that, a 5-inch set is not going to look as good on him as, let's say, an 8 or a 10-inch set. I would prefer to skew a little bit towards the larger end. If you have a smaller guy, let's say a 32-inch or 33-inch waist, then for him, maybe a 5.5, 6-inch set would look fine, but something 8 or 10 inches would maybe look a little bit too big.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really up to you, but not up to you. I mean, the mills are the ones, if it's a stock supported tartan, the mills are the ones who are making this decision. The vast majority of tartans that are stock supported, meaning I can call up the mill and say, hey, send me 5 yards of this. They are going to be in the 6 to 8 inch range. That is what looks best on the vast majority of people. Mm-hmm. So anything under that, it's a little bit small, but but not too bad if it's only like 5 inches or so. And above that, not many mills are going to do it. Could you do a custom weave? Sure. You're going to spend a lot of money. Are you going to get something that looks a lot better for a bigger guy if you go from 8 to 10 inches? My extra $500-$600 is not worth that. Mm-hmm. I've just settled on the 8-inch set.
Now, Will was kind of wondering, I think, also if I think this was implied in his question, was what if or maybe he actually said it in the group, if pleating to the stripe or the set on the back of the kilt would make a difference in terms of thinking something looking flattering on a larger or smaller person.
Not too much either way.
Yeah.
Flattering on them versus them liking it more or liking it less. Let's start with that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're wearing it, frankly speaking, you're going to see the front when you look down and look straight ahead. You're not going to care what the back of your kilt really looks like.
Right.
Would it be more flattering for a bigger guy to be to the set, not to the stripe? The thought process being pleating a kilt to the stripe, it's more vertical. It's going to draw your eye up and down. I don't think it actually matters all that much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It depends. My set versus stripe thing is more, does the tartan itself look good to the stripe or not? That's more where I'm making that decision.
Yeah, I agree. I would say, this is something you overthink, and it's something that, while it's an interesting thought exercise, if you're concerned about how you're going to look in a kilt and how your outfit's going to look based on your body type, this is a low tier concern. The one advice I might offer if somebody was worried about it would be to avoid a tartan that has a very bold accent stripe. Like, don't go for something with a white stripe, because that's going to draw more attention to the gridularness. It's
Gridullarity.
the gridularity. Oh wow, we just changed the term. Wow, we've expanded. Gridulosity sounds a little obscene. I don't know.
The speed of the grid.
If your set size is so large that there's a red shift, it's probably too big. No,
again, he's gone to plaid.
They've gone to plaid.
I'm doing multiple Spaceballs references this episode. Yes.
They have been noticed.
Yes.
And commented upon.
Nobody gets my movie references. But yeah, I mean, I would say maybe avoid something with a white stripe. Is about the only thing I think about. I think a more blended color palette tartan will look better on most people.
A lower contrast. So something like we'll throw up a reference later on. Stewart of Appin Red Muted, where all the colors are kind of similar. They blend nice, but it's not a bold white, or there's no white and there's no black.
Yeah.
So the contrast is kind of a nice subtle in the middle.
Yeah. That's because darker colors, as the cliche goes, black is slimming. Well, darker colors in general can be slimming, and if you want you want to draw the attention of the eye to the sporran or to other parts of the outfit, so you're drawing the eye up, like say to a really nice tie or something, then go for a simpler, darker tartan. Would be my fashionista advice on it.
Yeah. I would not disagree.
But it's a minor point compared to other factors. I mean, most people are going to choose their tartan based on their clan, and nothing else really matters.
And frankly,
or at least their first tartan.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't have a set size option or that many options. So it's to some degree it's a moot point, where it's if your set size is, Loch Heron carries it, House of Edgar carries it, Martin Mills carries it. One of them is 7, one of them 7.5, one of them's 8 inches. You don't really have much choice, so just pick what you want.
But based on the most popular tartans out there, a lot of them, I would argue that things that are a little more subtle in the tone do tend to be more popular. So I think there's an instinctual thing there. Like, that's a beautiful tartan. Kilts and Culture is a beautiful tartan. Neither of them have that like wah in your face accent stripe of like white or mustard yellow or something.
White.
It's not that, but look how it's
because it blends.
You've got guards on it, and it blends with the gray.
Yeah,
it's not, and the gray, the gray and the white are closer together than like say, green or navy blue or
yes.
Something would
be. And there's something to be said for not a black and white buffalo check kind of thing, where it's an extreme contrast side by side
check.
Versus something like this where it's it kind of flows into itself and into one another, where it's not a super high contrast, but yet some contrast. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back for designing it. It's more of the thought process of designing it.
Yeah, more avant-garde modern fashion over the hundreds of years or 20th century has been higher contrast stuff.
Yeah,
blended colors are much more traditional for a reason. They're easier on the eye, so they're easier to wear.
Agreed. Do we obsess with these things? Do we overthink them? Of course we do. That's what we do. That's our job. That's who I am as a person, frankly. However, don't let overthinking stop you. Do what you want to do. Move on, move forward, and adjust. Don't overthink things to death. You have to start somewhere. What's that? The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. It's the same with Highland wear and with your wardrobe. Start, reevaluate, and adjust, and move forward. And I promise, guys, eventually you will find your groove and the style that you want. Remember, if you dig on this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel. And as always, check us out at usakilts.com.